Hey, welcome back to the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. I'm Zach, and this week we take the cap off my Blazer and fix the roof because, you know, just like everything else that's on this thing, it's rusted.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada. So you can see here on this side, this joint looks pretty good. But if we go over to the other side, on the top here, like I showed in my last video, you can see the Bondo is pretty thick there, and there is some bubblage happening. So we're gonna get this cap off, but I feel like everybody else is identical to me and has filled the back of their project vehicle with the crap that, you know, goes along with the project vehicle. So I gotta clean this out first before we can get the cap taken off. So I'm gonna get all this stuff out of here like magic. Should I just snap my fingers in and it's clean? Wow, I mean, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? So now we got better access at when I go to take the cap off. If I gotta walk back here, it's easier for me. And I also, like, I wish I would have filmed myself doing all this stuff in the back, like putting the tail pan in and the floor and then all the new wheel tubs, but I did that before I started YouTube. So if anybody wants maybe a video, a breakdown on how I did that, I can probably do a little thing. And if you're a real OG and followed me on Instagram, you would remember the fuel bucket, and she is still going strong. She fires up every time. So, also I was just looking at that. There's dents in here. These new floor pans, you know, they're just not as good as the old ones, but oh well. And do you guys think I should add another brace in here? When I kind of push here, it kind of goes in and out, but I mean, I'm not back here all the time. It's also not bolted down, and that support, wherever it is over here, isn't put in yet, but I could pretty easily put another one in. Just have to see where it would go for the gas filler neck. And so I got my tailgate. Probably might be the next video repairing the tailgate because it is, you can see there is some holage here. And I have the original tailgate that came off the truck, but the outer skin is bad. And the outer skin of this one is in good shape. So we're gonna make 2 tailgates out of 1. I have something fancy for it if I can find, or not fancy, but it's just a fun idea if I can find the other piece I'm looking for online. So we're gonna see. So I'm gonna get these bolts out of this cap, and then we can see about taking our one little wall section out here so we'd be able to carry it out a little bit easier. And then we can start looking at that rust repair. I mean, I don't usually like listening to instructions, but I feel like this one's important, so we did it. So I'm sitting in here taking out these bolts, and I'm like, what an idiot. I'm using this manual socket wrench, and I'm like, yo, I spent all this money on this Milwaukee stuff, and I'm not even using it. Like, what an idiot. Wasn't that a lot nicer? I'm telling you guys, if you haven't bought one of these, go out and get yourself one. They are fantastic. So I'm taking out these bolts, and then this one's spinning. So I'm just taking my vice grips, and I'm just kind of crimping it like that. And then it kind of stops it from spinning. Oh, it's freaking in there. Do you guys have any other tricks what you do to hold those, or if this is what you're doing, let me know. I got one that broke off, so I'm gonna have to, this one over here, it broke off, so I mean, I'll still be able to take the top off, but oh well, we're gonna figure it out. And also, I'm using the manual socket wrench because these are just a little bit too in there, and I don't want to break my electric one, you know. I like using that one when you're in the engine bay fist deep and you can't get your hand in there. It's kind of handy, so I'd prefer not to break it on just a silly little bolt like this. All right, well, I got all the bolts off and I should be able to, pick her up. So we're gonna get this wall part taken down. She's pretty easy. All you gotta do is we just gotta pop these pins out, kick the bottom out, should get her out, and get you guys on time lapse, and we'll see if we can get this cap off. I'm pretty excited to see how it's gonna look. I know when you see them online, it's like, man, that's cool, but when you see your own with the top off, you're like, damn, does that look good? Well, isn't that just a sight? You know, I'm friggin' dripping faster than a maple tree at the end of March, you know. Woo! Damn! Man, she is looking so good. You know, this side, not so bad. It's looking pretty good. The seam up here, flawless. Little bit of stuff here, not too bad. But the other side, and also, like, I don't know, I've obviously never took a cap off a Blazer before, but I'm assuming these are some kind of pins that center it in there. I took the nuts off because I was like, I don't know what they're for. But this side, you can see puddle of rust, or pile of rust, and big old holage. I don't think that's speed holes, but, because I mean, I don't know how the air would be flying past here. But, yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, to be honest with you. But we'll start digging into this. I'm hoping that maybe we can save on these 2 rounds here. And all I got to do is maybe fix a patch here and maybe get something in here. But I've said that before, like, maybe I could save some. But, you know, I ended up chopping out the whole friggin' thing. So we'll get to taking this rubber off. Alright, so I got that rubber molding off, and hopefully I can get a new one, because I kind of ripped it in one spot, but we'll figure that one out later. So for anybody that's wondering how to tackle this, I really don't know if this is the right way. This is how I'm going about it. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some cardboard, and what I did was I marked some Sharpie lines on here. My bottom one doesn't really matter as much as my top one. So I made both of my templates to that line, and I have an inner one that I roughly kind of made that it fits this outside edge. This one I'm hoping that I'll just be able to come to it and I'll be able to repair the inside, so it shouldn't be as bad. But then for the outer one, because I know there's a hole here and I want to keep the roof skin the same arc so that it matches up to the cap or the top, whatever you want to call it. So I made up this one that lines up with my same mark, and I made it as the outer. And what I did was I traced the line on there. It was a little thicker, so I just marked on there that was the thickness of the Sharpie when it was riding on the roof. So now when I go to tear into this and I get to take all this Bondo out, I should have a perfect template of what the roof was, so that I know what to make the new skin to. So we're gonna get taking this Bondo out. And also, if anybody's wondering why I heat it up and I use a chisel to take the Bondo out and stuff like that, is that I just don't like the dust that a grinder makes. So I find if I'm fixing it anyways and doing some body work, what's the difference of me shearing it out with some heat and taking it out, and I'm gonna come and sand the whole roof anyways? It just, to me, that makes sense. I'm probably breathing in some bad chemicals from the from the smoke, but I mean, I'm not dealing with the dust. So that's the reason why I do it like that. So we'll get to shearing this Bondo out, and I'm gonna clean this up, see where I have to go to, so that I can just patch that in. I'm hoping it should be pretty simple here. I'm gonna take my wire wheel and clean up this edge so that I can see what's going on here as well. So I'll get this sheared out, and then you guys should be able to see what's going on here. So, well, as expected, like everything else on this truck, it was just a hole with Bondo over it. So They beat it in a little bit, so I don't have anything to pull it out, so I'm probably gonna have to cut off most of this here that's beat in. And where are you, Lacey? I hear you. Yeah, what are you doing? Anyways, I'm gonna have to cut out most of it to get in there, and I think I'm gonna start on this section here, get this fixed up, and then I can start worrying about this section over here. And I used an X-Acto knife to come in here and cut out all this seam sealer that was in there. I'm probably going to put rust mort all in this stuff that I'm not going to cut out, try to convert on the rust a little bit. And yeah, we'll start off by cutting this out. I'll probably make up a patch to go in there, and then we'll start. And there's this tricky little hole in here, but that shouldn't be too bad. It's only one little spot, and we'll be able to fix up the rest. So we'll get her chopped up, pieces made, and hopefully we can get them welded in. All right, well, I got that chopped out and this one patch panel made up. Got a little curve made into this because it's a little round. I still got to put some weld through primer on the back side, but I ended up not having to chop out as much as I had to because I made up this, I guess you could call it a slide hammer. So I just took this like ready rod and I made an L on the end. And I just took this piece of brass and yeah, some washers and nuts, and I was able to hook it on the edge and just slide and bash back what was all bent in. And then I ended up using this curved dolly that I could get curved in here, and I was able to pound it out. There's just a little dent here, but I think I can live with it because after I go and weld in there, and I'm probably gonna warp the crap out of it anyways, but yeah, I'll get that one welded in probably, so then I can start moving on to this side. And I think it's gonna be a trick, but I think I got a plan. All right, well, we got that welded in there, looking pretty good. Just a little skim of Bondo should fix it up. And I started working on this. I got some lines marked on here where I'm gonna cut. And here's a little tip for you guys, just in case you're trying to do something like this. So I got this ridge here, right? And I don't want to cut into it with my grinder. So I just take a drill bit and I just continuously to drill until I get to a spot where I know the grinder's not going to nick this little lip. Don't know if that's the right way, but you know, when you're with limited tools, and it works. So, well, I'll get this cut out and I'll weld in the new piece, and we'll get back to you when she's looking brand new. I'm also a stickler. I'm going to make it so it looks like this factory thing here. So I'll probably weld in the bottom piece before I put the top one on. So I wasn't going to show how I did this. Well, I mean, not that I wasn't going to show, but I figured I'd show you guys how I made the pieces up. So this is obviously the original one. You can see the crease in here, the line where the two panels meet. And so I kind of tried to mimic that. So first piece I'm going to have to start off with is this little L piece. I'm going to have to weld that in there first. And then I made up this piece with a little recess, and it's rounded like 3 ways. And it kind of fits in there something like that. And then this one I still have to drill 2 holes for the spot welds that are going to go here. But then this one, once I get that one welded in, and then oh, sorry, I'm looking at what I'm doing, not at the camera. So then after I get the L welded in, it's a little longer, so I'll have to cut it off and then fit this one in once I get the bottom piece in. So we'll get this all welded in and ground up, and we'll come back to once she's finished. Well, guys, we got her welded up and she's looking like factory. I mean, I tried my best anyways. A little bit of Bondo and she'd be, "What are you doing here, Cat? I am trying to do something. Holy moly." But anyways, she's looking factory. Ow! Ow! Come on with the nails, dude. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, she's looking real factory. Don't go on the belly. Oh, please. You need to stop. Just go. Please. Thank you. Okay. Alright. Anyways. she's looking as factory as I can get her. I'll just put some seam sealer in this once I get to it. There's some little bit of rust here, so I'm gonna put some rust mort on it. And there's a whole bunch of rust down here and stuff, and I ground it up the best I could, put rust mort on it. But I think that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to salute the beaver, and we'll see you next time. You are just a menace, huh?